Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Gail Dudley, and it is time for News in Motion. I see you, Deborah, Marion, Kim, Regina, Latrice, Robert, Shirley, Adrian. Y'all come on in here. I see Regina. I just see all of you coming in here. So, good morning to you, y'all. It is Wednesday. It is Wednesday, February the 1st. Hello, February. February coming on up in here, and it's a little cold outside, too. But we're just happy that you have decided to spend your morning with us if you're tuning in live. If you are tuning in later on in the day, we just want to say thank you for joining us and checking us out and allowing me to spend a little bit of your day with you. All right, we're doing something different this month since it is Black History Month. This is the official set aside month for Black history. But let's be intentional. I'm using Latrice Jones' word. Let's be intentional by celebrating Black History Month every month. But still, here we're going to do something a little different. We are going to, and we're giving back. This is one of the times that we're giving back. We are going to profile a Black business, product, or business every day. We're on the air in the month of February. So it's our giving back to you. So you will have to do a couple of things. Number one, you will have to send us a graphic along with a one paragraph business write up about your business or product. It has to be a certain size. So the best way to do it is to think about, if you're in Canva, if you know that software, go to the Facebook cover and create your graphic there. You will email it to us at newsinmotionwithgail@gmail.com, and we will get that in there. We want to profile Black businesses where it's our gift back to you every day that we're on the air this month. This month, I see my brother coming in here, and Lori, and Jacqueline, and Hester, and Sardinia. So we want to do that for you. So we're going to start off this month by highlighting once again one of our own viewers, Hester Jackson. So we have her promo. We're going to put that up there. Today, we want to highlight her, Hester Jackson. And by the way, I believe her birthday is the end of the month too. So y'all make sure y'all mark y'all's calendars for February 28th to give her a birthday shout out. But she is building generational wealth, and that's her business, Building Generational Wealth LLC. Her email is wealth@bgwllc.org, which is on the graphic. And if you want to contact her, she gave us permission. It's her business number is 910-610-8160. And her current project is seeking like-minded individuals who are interested in investing in a hotel. Now, y'all, she's currently looking for a hotel. And again, if anyone is interested, you can send her an email. You can contact her. She says, please she will add your name and email address to the distribution list where you'll be getting emails and so forth. She will invite you to join her on a pitch call once she finds that hotel. So if that's something you're interested in doing, make sure you contact Hester. So she is our first business of the month for Black History Month. Y'all support her, even if you are not going to want to invest into hotels or anything like that. She has other things that she's doing. Check her out, email her, call her up, and make sure you're sending business her way. All right. So that's the first thing we want to do. The second thing is thank you so much, Marion, for putting that up there. The other thing we want to do, and I really need my glasses for this because my printer kind of like went wacko on me. This is from the White House, and this is National Black History Month 2023 by the President of the United States of America. This is a proclamation, and no, I'm not reading this entire thing, but real quick, he says, during National Black History Month, we celebrate the legacy of Black Americans whose power to lead, to overcome, and to expand the meaning and practice of American democracy has helped our nation become a more fair and just society. This country was established upon this country was established upon the profound but simply idea that all people are created equal and should be treated equally throughout their lives. Somebody should have reread that. But anyway, it goes on to say it is an idea America has never fully lived up to, but it is an idea that we never fully walk away from either. The struggles and challenges of Black history, a Black American story, to make a way out of no way has been a crisis where our resolve to fulfill this vision has most often been tested. He goes on to say Black Americans struggle for freedom, equal treatment, and the right to vote. Really? Can you make sure you like do an executive order and make sure we get voting rights today? If you want to really help us on Black History Month, this is what you call it, National Black History Month, President Biden, you can just sign an executive order for equal voting rights. It's really that simple. That's all you got to do. But anyway, he goes on to say we're going to do this. He talks about his administration from the start. The Biden Harris administration has been committed to using the power of federal government to address the longstanding disparities that have hampered the progress of Black communities. We know that. What is this? So this is like 3.5 pages of his words. I gotta read the rest of this one part. He goes on to say, on day one of my presidency, I issued an executive order to advance equity and racial justice in every policy we pursue. You did? Where's the voting rights? I'm just asking. I began by appointing the most diverse cabinet in American history. I have continued to nominate a historic number of Black judges to the federal bench, including Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. Okay, I'm going to give you that one. The first Black woman to serve on the Supreme Court. So, anyway, that's that. You can go to the website, which is whitehouse.gov, and read the entire thing if you're really interested. But I just really want some voting rights, President Biden. I see you, Pastor Alex, come here. What y'all saying? Dr. Antoinette said, can they read that statement in Florida? Well, there's that. Jacqueline says, I'm with you, Gail. Voting rights are a must. Hey, look, y'all know I'm fair and balanced. Balance here. I am fair and balanced. Fair and balanced. Dr. Antoinette said voting rights in February. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Wouldn't that be wonderful? That would be great. All right, y'all. Tyree Nichols, please pray for his family. He will be laid to rest today. Funeral is expected to draw thousands. USA Today did a special reporting, and I'm going to just grab a piece of that for you today. A 29-year-old, they call him, which it is, 29-year-old skateboarder, father, and photographer who worked at FedEx. A funeral will be held at Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church in Memphis, Tennessee. The Reverend Al Sharpton has said to be honored to be utilizing Tyree Nichols, whose funeral will draw thousands, including high-profile attendees such as Vice President Kamala Harris. Al Sharpton said Tyree will be known as one of those police brutality victims that caused the whole nation, if not the whole Western world, to stop and deal with the question of police abuse. Also expected at the funeral today is Breonna Taylor's mother, George Floyd's brother. Tyree Nichols' parents are set to attend, as y'all know, President's State of the Union address next week, and has also been invited by the Congressional Black Caucus, who are looking to meet with the president to push for police reform. So that's it, and let's just be praying for that family. The news that we're given today is going to be quick, because I've heard y'all's cry and plead to return back to Wednesday workshop, which we're only going to do it the first Wednesday of every month. So I got that coming. So hold on. So let's talk about Georgie boy. He's in the news. Representative George Santos sent a letter to Speaker of the House, McCarthy, resigning all his House committee seats. Yeah, okay. He stepped down early yesterday as more and more pressure has mounted for him to step down from Congress. He's like, I ain't going that far. However, he did pledge to serve, to remove himself from the committee seats, but he said he's going to serve his 2 full year term. He said he's not doing anything with that. There was a lot of interviews yesterday, even of the Republican Party, Republican voters in his district, who is calling on him to step down. More than 79% of those voted. People were saying things such as, the person he is not the person that I voted for. I voted for this person. And then people looked at the list. I gave y'all all of his names. I believe it was last week or the week before. They're saying, which person is this? And they said, that's not fair. And they want their vote back, and they want the opportunity to vote again for someone different. Now, y'all, because I was looking at different articles and press releases that were coming in, I came across an opinion piece. An opinion piece is someone who gives their opinion on what's happening, not the commentary, but an actual their own formed opinion. So I got to give a shout out to Rex Humpke. He's an opinion writer for USA Today, and he said, and this was amazing. The whole piece is phenomenal. So if you go Google him in USA Today, I think they have a paywall though. But if you go Google him in USA Today, you can read the entire article. But the header says, "A letter from George Santos. I'm recusing myself from committees." Also, he goes and say, "Also, I am Batman." I don't know what it is, but that just when I saw that, I said, "Oh my gosh, I have to share this tomorrow on News in Motion," because that was just brilliant. I mean, he literally says in a quote, "A letter from George Santos. I am recusing myself from committees. Also, I am Batman." So there's that. People are just having fun with George Santos. He opened the door. People are walking in, doing what they do. All right, y'all. When will it give? When will it give? This is serious. Not only do we have eggs that are increasing, but the Fed is predicted to boost interest rates again today for an eighth consecutive time. This happening today. But only, they're saying, but only by a quarter point. Increase is increase. I don't know how you look at increase, but increase is increase. And they're saying this down from a half point hike in December and four consecutive three-quarter percentage points increases before that. Try to make it sound good. But feds, you're increasing the interest rate. Increase is an increase. Okay. So that's what's happening. All right, y'all. If you love airplanes, and again, I'm running through this so I can get to Kenny. We're going to bring Kenny in, and then we're going to do Wednesday workshop. Y'all want to hang out for Wednesday workshop today? Y'all right, y'all. Boeing said goodbye yesterday as it delivered its final 747 jumbo jet. And they made a real big production out of this. USA Today reports since its first flight in 1969, the giant, graceful 747 has served as a cargo plane, a commercial aircraft capable of carrying nearly 500 passengers. I've been on those many times. And it's huge, but it's also kind of comfortable. Now they're just going to squash us into these little jets. Anyway, they're talking about that it was a transport for NASA's space shuttle and Air Force One presidential aircraft. It has revolutionized travel, connecting international cities that had never before had direct routes and helping the whole passenger flight. I'm going to really not like seeing that, because now they've done the last one. I guess once they start breaking down, I guess they'll just be going away. So it was kind of because I've been on many of them, and they're comfortable. They're just comfortable, especially when you're going overseas. I was on one of those going to Zimbabwe. It's comfortable. Well, now they're going to squash this all in here. All right, y'all. We have been missing Kenny Stanley. And once again, we thank Isaiah for stepping in on Monday. Kenny, and y'all, let's just pray where he is situated in the barbershop. He wants to do his podcasting, his broadcasting from the barbershop, but there's a disconnect with some of their internet workings. So we just need everyone praying. We really want to hear from Kenny, and we hope that his reporting will come through today. So we're going to give it a try, and we're going to see what's about to happen. So, and again, if we have technical difficulties, we apologize on the front end. And when we come back from hearing Kenny, I'm going to go into a presentation that my hope is it will energize you to do something and to think differently. With that, let's have the intro for Game Over, and then we'll bring in Kenny Stanley. Hello, Kenny. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. We cannot hear you. I can't hear you. We're going to see if we can get his audio. We can't hear you. We're going to let him work on that and then we'll come back in and see if we can hear from him because right now we cannot hear from him at all. So we apologize for that. We don't know what it is, but this is what I want to say about that as we're trying to get Kenny back in here. It is that he has a gift. He has an amazing gift. And there seems to be all these distractions coming. So I'm asking all of our viewers to be praying for Kenny so that his gift will make room for him without all of these distractions. So we're going to try one more time to see if we can get his audio, and if not, we'll go straight into Wednesday workshop. So let's bring in Kenny again and see if we can hear him. Kenny, can you hear us?
I can hear y'all. Can you hear me?
Yes, go with your sports. Go with your sports.
Hey, News and Motion family. Hey, I apologize. We're gonna get this worked out. Uh, I'm doing the show from the shop, and like Gail said, there's some reason there's a disconnect from here. So we're gonna try to get this together. But welcome to Game Over with me, Kenny Stanley. I missed y'all on Monday. Isaiah, thank you for stepping in for me. The Super Bowl 57 is set. Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. It's the first time in the NFL that you have two African American quarterbacks facing each other, and I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. Who y'all rolling with? I got a feeling Philadelphia getting ready to roll through this whole thing. I hate to say that, but I think they're getting ready to roll through it. Also in the NFL, the Denver Broncos got their coach. They hired Sean Payton yesterday, and with that hiring, New Orleans Saints look like they came out on the winning end of that. I know Sean Payton is a great coach, and I hope he does well in Denver. But it looked like New Orleans is going to come out with the better half. They will receive Denver's 2023 first round pick, their 2024 second and third round pick. So it looked like the Saints came out on the winning end on that side. So I hope they got what they want. For the third year in a row, the Houston Texans has hired their third African American coach. DeMarco Ryans was hired yesterday. He inked a 6-year deal. I don't know what the money figures are, but he inked a 6 years deal to be the Houston Texans coach. And DeMarco Ryans, he used to be the 49ers defensive coordinator as of this past season. So hopefully he'll be all right. Hope he won't get fired at the end of the season like the past two coaches, African American coaches. They lost their job right after the second season. And my last story, hey, let's keep rooting for LeBron. I'm a Philadelphia 76ers fan, but LeBron is doing his thing, and he's only 89 points away from being the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. Hey, that's sports. I want to get back to Gail because I want to hear what's going on in this Wednesday workshop. Thank you. That's it. Game over. I'll see y'all on Saturday.
So glad we were able to get you in here because that was great. Thank you so much.
I
Stay tuned for
appreciate
the
it. It was
Wednesday
short but
workshop.
sweet. I had to get it in.
And
Thank
you
you,
too.
Gail.
Thank,
All right.
thank you. Yes, y'all. That's what happened when you're dealing with technical difficulties. There's been times that I have froze on live, or you couldn't hear me, or y'all remember very early on when me and Demia was trying before we did all the extra equipment, where me and Demia was trying to have a conversation, y'all couldn't hear nothing. So all of that, so those things happen. So let's just continue to encourage him, and we learn through these technical difficulties. Okay. Speaking of technical difficulties and learning the different systems that we have, I learned something on my own system. And so this is what I want to say before I start this presentation. Many of you have been like, do I want to do the membership or not? What's really included? What's really involved? So let me just give you a little bit of information on that. Number one, each month you can hop in, opt in or opt out. It's totally up to you. You will get a journal. January's journal, I think, was 10 pages maybe. This this month's journal is 12 pages, and it's an interactive journal. It's nice. I actually used a template from my business coach, where I do all, it's my content, but I use her template. I was going to say she gave it to me, but no, I paid for that. Where I use it. And so each month I'm adding my intellectual property to it, my content to it, and it's a part of the membership. Y'all, the membership is $8. Today only, because we did this for Deborah on Monday. Today only, if you sign up for the membership, you have until 11:59 p.m. You will get both January's journal and February's journal. This month is on small business. How do I sign up? Okay, we're going to pull that up. Let me see if I can find it for you. Isaiah doesn't have it, so let me see if I can get it real quick. Great question, great question, great question, great question. And I do have it. So I'm getting ready to grab this link and put it in the chat. Let me see if I can get it in there. It's now in the chat. Tell me if you got it or not. Deborah said, if you haven't joined, please do so. It is content rich. And I must say, it is indeed content rich for real. I think everybody should have received it. The link is in there. So I'm going to give y'all just a snippet from the for the Wednesday workshop. Since everybody wanted to come back, I said I'm going to give you all a snippet of what they received in the webinar. Usually the webinar will be free, and it's third Mondays at 3 p.m. And if you don't make it live, the recording will be out there. But with third Monday falling on President's Day, we decided to do a recording in case you wanted the day off. So we're going to give you a little snippet of what's inside, and I'm going to control the everything today. So, for example, this is just some of the slide, which is be the webinar. But I'm going to go back here. This one is actually called the Money Pit, and it talks about how money just is going places when you're trying to run a business, because this month is focused on small business 101. So anyway, y'all, I learned that I had this capability in this in on StreamYard. I was like, what? This is what I paid for? And I believe I am trying to use everything I paid for. So I wanted to show you all this. So this is what it is, copyright, something to think about. I talk about in here where money goes, and that you don't think about it. You're not thinking about the subscriptions you have. You're not thinking about stamps. You're not thinking about your time. You are spending more time doing things. You go thinking, I'm going to grab this for my client, but you end up buying more things. And that thing that may cost $1 from the dollar store may end up costing 5, 6, maybe 10 or more dollars because you keep buying from there. So things that are within this slide is know your worth, placing value on your product and services, know the difference between money pressure and money power, know if you are sabotaging your success or losing your profit. And I break this down. I set this aside for 30 minutes. This webinar that I gave them is over an hour. And those of you who have it can put in there that you know it's over an hour. I give details, I give information, I give contacts, I give everything. And I talk about placing a value on your product and services, like what is it worth? What is your worth? What is your business communication protocol? And I break that down and give you the details to all of that. How many hours do you choose to work within a day? How many days do you choose to work within a week? I'm giving you all of this kind of information. I'm going to skip around a little bit because if you're not in there, you're not getting it. Talk about how to do old school lists, schedule appointments, self-care days, tracking every penny, how you put together your list, your to-do list, your self-care, your exercise, your silence, your clients, your coaching, your breathing, your reading, your products. I break all of that down in there, talk about prioritizing. Then I talk about or if you're sabotaging anything, I go real deep into defining your brand. Like, for example, my brand is my media, and that should say news. So there's an error there. Podcast, blogger, influencer, everything. I have to define my why. And then this slide right here goes right back to the journal you received, where I give you a full page worksheet on defining your why and what it looks like in your mission statement, how you're going to build your mission statement. I talk about outsourcing, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I say, do what you love what you do, outsource everything else, but never completely remove yourself from the work or your brand. I break all of that down. So even now, even if you choose not to join the membership, this information right here should be something that you should hold on to. So this is where I want to fall, and this is what I'm going to give you today. So here are 12 questions to ask. Get ready for this, y'all. Number one, do you have a clear understanding of the process? So, when you're outsourcing or when you're doing it yourself, do you have a clear understanding of the process? Do you know how every piece fits together, how it will work? Do you know the person that you're outsourcing with, their background? And then I talk about the money pit in here, and I talk about how I've used so many different people trying to work what it is that I'm doing, and they may not really have what it is that I need, and how that becomes a money pit. So we go through a whole list in this webinar. Again, it was over an hour. We go through the entire list of everything that we do and how we do it. And then I refer you right back to the journal that I designed that you receive as the monthly membership. Then, what are the details of the business relationship? Keyword business, not friends. I talk extensively about there being a fine line between your business and your friendship. Even if you coach your friends, at that point in time when you're sitting down with that session, you are coaching your client. Even when you are selling a product, you are selling a product to your customer, not to your friend. And we talk about the fine lines there. And I go deep in that area. Those of you who've already watched it, you can go ahead and comment in the comment section. Will coaching be available so that you can learn the process or to troubleshoot a situation? And I gave a great example of my web designer. My web designer codes. I don't know how to do any of that. So she has in her file, that's a part of her will, that if something was to happen to her, I don't like the way she titled her file, but her file title is "If I Shall Die," meaning for her. And in her will, and she gives all of her clients that if something happens, you have a complete video that you can hand that video off to somebody else who's going to continue to work on that website. She has it detailed. She gives them a video of everything she does, how she does it, what the code is for it, everything. So if anything was to happen to her, so when you're outsourcing something or when you're hiring somebody, you still are a part of that, but you need to know what's the follow up from there. Hester said, good point, fine line with your friends. There's a fine line there. You need to find out if there will be a weekly or monthly reports or meeting for updates, or are you just going to fly by night with it? Are you comfortable with the process and who's running the project? You got to think about that. Who's running this? Like, I'm comfortable with Isaiah Jones running this, completely comfortable with him running this. I know that if I'm not here, he could still run it. I know he's still growing, he's still open to learning, all of that. But I trust Isaiah Jones with this, without a doubt. I trust Kenny to do what Kenny's doing with the podcast. I trust Deborah doing what she's doing when she either fills in this seat or when she's starting her right from the heart on next Monday. All of that is how you put that together. Who are your trust? I trust my daughter like crazy. Okay. And some people cannot trust their kids to run their business, but I know my daughter can. I have I've given access to certain people, to Zelray, to Camille, to Carl, because I know none of my stuff is going to go anywhere. I trust them. Now, I also talk in this piece about the contracts and how you put those contracts together, and every piece of that. Now, it even goes back to the business communication protocol. How much of your brand power are you allowing someone else to control? That is key. That is so key. One thing with my social media, I never want to lose myself. And we talk about this when I give the full 1 hour video. That's we sent out already, but you'll get it if you sign up. And we talk about never losing your voice. If someone is controlling your social media, believe me, if people know you, they know if it's you or somebody else. So, for example, there was a time during the elections where someone was doing some of that for me, but it was not me. So I had to pull it back. Not that they were wrong. I just had to pull it back because it was not my voice. It was not my voice. So here, I don't know if Mike Nicholson is still on here or not, but for here, everyone's jumping on AI. Be careful with that. Be careful with that because you may lose your voice in AI. Now, if you want to pull from it and rewrite something and just get like a prompter, cool. But don't just let AI do it all. Don't let AI do it all. How much of your brand power are you allowing to let somebody else control? Are the fees you're paying equal to the quality of the product and services that you're receiving? Are the fees equal to that? If not, reevaluate and make a change if you need to. Can you talk to a rep of the rep or the business owner, et cetera, in case you're not satisfied with the process? When you're talking about outsourcing, who's your contact? And do they have any power behind that? Will you lose your voice? When it comes to your brand written content and editing, I do talk about this here, but that's also I do the next membership for March is going to be content writing, content. I'm going to give you a whole content calendar. If y'all could see that journal alone is I think up to 22 pages, okay? So that's you're paying $8 a month, y'all, seriously. But we're going to get into content and content editing next month, but I do talk a little bit about it here. How many people are involved with the project? So even with News in Motion or the Gail Dudley brand, they're together, but they're separate. I know I just contradicted myself. But even with that, who's all involved in this? Who's doing what? Who am I responding to? The same with you. You got to ask yourself, who's all involved? Where do we connect these dots? How do we connect these dots? Who's in what lane and what weight are they pulling? You got to have that, y'all. And how many people are all involved? Like, for example, all podcast related entities. There are people that I'm like, okay, go out there, see what's happening, see what the descriptions are. Let's make sure we're not overlapping in some areas because people, y'all, content, there's nothing really original anymore. So you're kind of like to some degree duplicating. You're not stealing. That's a no. But I go out there with my things and I'm like, okay, I have somebody go check things, Camille Hopkins, go check things. If you see an overlapping theme, we'll pause that and do it later so that everybody's not talking the same thing so that people can be drawn to them. That's how I work. I'm not here to compete with people. I'm here to support people. So people I don't even know, she'll come back and say, "Oh, I see," and there's like millions of podcasts. I see about 10% podcast speaking on this, but when I look at the demographics, there's no one in our demographical area, so you can go with it. We'll run with it. For example, and y'all, I'm so and hear me, I'm so um grateful. Gina was giving me the demographics yesterday because we was putting something together. Y'all, the countries that are tuning in to either News in Motion, and we're like most basically, we're giving you the United States of America's news. But the countries who are tuning into News in Motion and now Politics and Prose is amazing. It actually caused me to have tears yesterday. I was like, what? This is happening? Y'all, a percentage that's tuning into Politics and Prose from Argentina. Like, really? We're talking 23%. I'm like, what is it that's drawing people from there to listen to this and why? Age demographics, all of that information, y'all. You look at it, you determine, okay, how do I want to troubleshoot this, go after this, lay this out, position this. All of that is a part of it. You just don't show up and do a show. You have to put all the package around it. The next one, do I know how everything connects? Example, podcast, iHeart, Apple, Amazon Music, Stitcher, etc. Do I know how all of it happens? I know when I sit in this seat at 7:25 a.m. Eastern on Monday through Thursday, I know it goes to all of these different places. Okay, but I'm not the audio engineer. I don't know how it all connects. That's where Gina comes in. I've outsourced that to Gina. Gina comes in and she puts all that together. When I'm sitting down to record a podcast, Gina's on the other side and we are working that thing through. That girl can get a daggone tissue noise out of the recording. It's amazing. It's phenomenal. I can't do it. I needed a clip for something that I'm doing today. Gina snap that clip together. I was like, girl, you just made me look like $1 million. But that's her gift. I couldn't do it. So that's outsourcing. So you have to be mindful. And if you can't work with them, don't work with them. Y'all all know my story with the first podcast. I just was like, I'm not fooling with it. You go do it. Gina doesn't let me do that. Gina says, you may not do it, but you need to learn this. Because if anything was to happen to me, you need to understand. If there's any question, you need to be able to answer it. So she put my email on stuff. I'm like, Gina, just put your email. Nope. You need to understand this. This is your business. It needs to come to you. If you want to forward to me, that's fine. That's how you work this out. And then, is there a clear written contract? Hello, somebody, that spells out the process of being released as a client and your property. You need to have that. Even if you think, oh, I don't have to worry about that, that's my friend. I share an example in the actual full hour video. I share an example of a friend of mine wanting me to work with. Mike says Gina's correct. She is, to help with their book. Friend of mine. I was thinking, oh, we don't need a contract. Let me just do this for you. Well, she paid what she's supposed to pay. But in my contract, I say you get 3 edits. You can only redo one chapter. It's clearly in my contract. I had my attorney, Evelyn Robinson, write that up. This is what you get. My friend kept rewriting where it was throwing out the entire chapter. And that became very mucky because the editor gets paid. The editor has her rates or his rates, whoever I'm using at the time. And it got mucky because I did not have a contract. And I finally had to say, look, we can't do this anymore because my contract, and she came back with me, but we didn't sign a contract. You're absolutely correct, which also goes back to that fine line when it comes to friends. You want to do all these things, but you have to make sure that that's balanced. Speaking of editing, for those of you who are waiting on the book, Inspire, Kathy is back in her home as of 2 days ago, and she will be getting this together. She says, give her some time. If you don't want to wait, I understand. Let me know if you pre ordered, and I'll make sure you get your funds back. But if you can wait, just keep waiting. I think it's going to be really good. I believe God's timing is perfect. We didn't know that there was going to be a situation with the hurricane in Fort Myers, but she is now fully back in her home. She's unpacking and getting things. She's doing some stuff. So we will be getting that to you as soon as possible. So, y'all, that's a Wednesday workshop. That's just a snippet of those 17. Actually, there's more slides in that particular presentation. So the link is in there. We'll put it back in here again if you want to sign up for February. If you sign up for February today only, you'll also get only the January journal, not everything else, just a journal. The other thing we're going to change in this, we're looking for another provider for text messaging. Many of you have blocked if you have an iPhone, you reported the text message as junk because you don't recognize the number. Well, we're not going to use my number. We're not going to use any of our personal numbers, but we want to find a system that maybe has an 800 number and not all these different numbers. Now, that's going to cost us more, but we're looking into that. So please be patient with the text message piece that you're supposed to get once a week. So we're still working on that. All right, y'all, that was a lot. We went a little over. I'm going to try to get this off the screen. I think that's it. All right, y'all. Hopefully that was helpful. We're back to Wednesday workshops, the first Wednesday of every month. We want to just give you a teaser, and that presentation again is called the Money Pit. We're going to be offering the Money Pit as a masterclass on Eventbrite, but it's going to cost a whole lot more than $8. Just wanted to let you know that. All right, y'all, that's all we have for today. Until tomorrow, y'all know what I say, stay well, and remember, make some bold moves. I'm out.